Yeah. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Midnight Mission podcast. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
What, like a month?
Dang,
We didn't
huh?
record last time. So
Yeah.
It's been a month. Sorry.
Oops.
Canada style. Sorry.
Sorry.
Please forgive us if we have
Free
any.
healthcare.
Anyway, all right.
Overpriced items.
Welcome back,
Stop.
guys. On today's episode of the Midnight Mission podcast, we will be discussing the Ahsoka TV series.
Yes.
We'll give spoilers, okay?
For the first 4 episodes.
First 4 episodes. I know we're late. We're catching up. We're playing catch up. It's okay.
Yeah.
I have some notes here, and we're gonna go through each episode briefly. We're not going to spend that much time on each episode like we would typically do. Well, no, not really. On the other shows, we did like 2 at a time. So.
Yeah. This one's mostly just for catch up, just because Ahsoka's halfway there, right?
Yeah,
8 episodes.
It's 8 episodes, and we're on episode 4 already.
So 5 comes out this week.
5 comes out this upcoming week.
Mm-hmm.
But before we dive in, initial thoughts. What do you think? Yay or nay?
Yay. With some, I mean, I like where it's going.
Yeah, me too.
It's, I mean, just for me personally, I've never been a big fan of Rebels.
What?
Yeah, I've never been a
I
big
didn't
fan
know
of Rebels.
that.
Yeah, I've never liked
Rebels
Rebels.
was so good. You know what threw me off about Rebels? The lightsabers. The way they looked. Like toothpicks.
Yeah.
But once I got past that.
Yeah. I don't know. I
That's a
could
good
never
show.
get into like, it was such a weird, I don't know. It's because they're always set up to fail. Technically. When you look at the grand like timeline.
I mean, they made their dent.
Yeah.
Especially Ezra with
Yeah.
Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Mm-hmm.
But
I also couldn't
I
get.
liked
I don't know. I couldn't get into it. I think the only time I got into it was with the whole like the reunite of Captain Rex and Ahsoka. I thought that was
Really?
cool. Yeah.
that's like halfway through the show, I think.
That and then like when we see like the small cool Jedi stuff, like when we see Ezra like meet Darth Maul with the Sith Temple, and then we see I can't remember his name, the blind dude when he gets blind.
Kanan?
Kanan, yeah. He goes blind, and then him becoming or like training to be a like Jedi.
But a lot of stuff happened in like that episode though.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the episode where like, or was it 2 episodes? I can't remember if it was like over a 2 episode arc. Kanan gets blinded by Maul.
Yeah.
And then Vader shows up in that
Yeah.
episode.
And Ahsoka.
And Ahsoka and he fight.
Yeah.
It was I thought it was good.
Like
You
I
know?
mean,
the animation. So
it's not even have to do the animation. I think I just couldn't get into it. Like I
Like
was
the
just
story?
Like, yeah, I was just like.
I think after going back and like I'm late.
Mhm.
I was late to the
Mhm.
Clone Wars and Rebels game.
Yeah.
Right. COVID.
Yeah.
I needed something to watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think season 7 of Clone Wars came out
Yeah.
during
The
COVID,
last season.
right?
Yep.
So I watched that. And I was like, oh, let me watch this. You
Mhm.
know, Mando's good. Got me back into Star Wars. And season 7 of Clone Wars was pretty cool. I was like, all right, man, let me check the rest of the
Mhm.
season. Season 1 was kind of slow.
Mm-hmm.
But the stories and the arcs, they begin to pick up and they
Yep.
get interesting. So once I like binge watched Clone Wars, I went back to the original 2D animated Clone Wars, and I was like,
So
"This
good,
is
bro.
not for me."
The 2D ones.
And no one spoke.
That's
Barely.
so good, bro. This is, the whole scene with the clone troopers with the ARC troopers that show up. That's
I mean, it was
that's
cool.
like classic Vietnam
Listen, Mace
scene.
Windu was OP on that thing.
Exactly that too, bro.
I was like, dang, that was cool.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
even-
But
even-
it wasn't necessarily for me. It's just the flow of the
Uh-huh.
show, and not so much
because they were
art style.
shorts.
Yeah.
They were originally meant shorts, and then they like kind of they put them on Disney Plus as like one movie. I think that's what they called it, or like collection.
Oh.
Because originally they weren't like each one was. That's why I didn't talk because they were just like shorts that appeared.
Oh, okay. I mean, I went back and watched that, and then I was like, "What else do they have?" And
My
then I
favorite
saw
scene is the
Rebels.
one where we see Captain Frodo from the same like, I think it's the first episode. He's the ARC trooper we meet, and then we see him in Coruscant, and he's the one who has like the one blaster, and he's just like fighting battle droids like hand to hand. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah,
But then I got into Rebels,
yeah.
And then, like the first episode was like, meh.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, this is kind of interesting. I want to see where it goes.
Yeah.
Like I actually gave it a shot.
Yeah.
And just kept watching it and watching it and watching it. And I was like, okay, this is good. It's getting more interesting. It's getting better. And like Ezra's arc between the dark and the light side and him tapping into the dark side to open this to the hologram or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And then Darth Maul coming back trying to get him to be his apprentice and all this other stuff, and him like dying, fighting Kenobi, and
he brought it back.
Darth Vader and Ahsoka coming back was cool, and the Inquisitors was actually interesting too. Yeah. That was pretty cool,
especially the Grand Inquisitor. He was like a Jedi temple guard. Mm-hmm. I thought that was cool.
So like all of that to me was cool. So when Disney started doing these Disney live action series, and they were like dropping little bits of like some of these things in there. Like in Kenobi, I thought it was so cool that we saw a clone trooper. It was sad, but I thought that was kind of cool that they threw that in there.
Yeah.
And then the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah.
I didn't really like how he looked, but
yeah, it was a nice like they're part of it. You know what I mean? Like
so I mean they brought that in there, and that was interesting. And then now with Ahsoka, no, actually with Mando, because in Mando season 3 they show what's that character's name from Rebels? I don't remember. Let me see.
The purple dude.
Yeah, the big purple dude.
Kaz.
Zeb.
I was like, yeah, it's something weird like that. But yeah, we see him at
and
the
I was
end.
like, wait, he looks familiar.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I quickly put two and two together. And I was like, that's the guy. Yeah. Come on. And then, now with Ahsoka, it's like, I think I am enjoying Ahsoka so far more than I did Kenobi and Andor. Andor was good. It was its own thing, though.
That's what I liked about Andor. It was just like its own espionage sort of like.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was a different take on something,
but
so I did like that.
I like Ahsoka because it's, from my understanding, from what I heard, and I was picking that up. Oh, that's weird. I'm going to have to edit that out. From what I heard, like on a couple of YouTube videos, that Dave Filoni said this is like a follow-up to a direct follow-up to Rebels,
and it does seem like that, especially with the first episodes.
Yeah, and how seems like the parallels between the scenes, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I like
the
how
little
they did that.
graffiti or the art, the mural.
And like they recreated that final scene in Rebels, like almost exact, and it picks up from there. And I'm like, okay, I like that. But I think overall, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's nothing like Rebels wasn't for me. I think it was very like different, but not in a bad way. It was in my cup of tea.
Yeah, I mean, to each their own.
It's like, yeah.
Also,
I didn't like how they cut Ezra's hair off like throughout the whole season. Like they just kept.
Oh, like the last couple of.
Yeah, it was like first he had his hair.
That was like the second to last season or something like that.
Yeah, and they were just we gotta go bald.
And if you haven't seen Rebels, spoiler alert.
Don't watch it.
I think I told you I want a flashback scene
of Ezra.
No.
Oh.
With Hera and Kanan.
Yeah.
So I told you, like, Freddie Prinze Jr. voiced Kanan. I'm hoping that they bring him back and he reprised the role, because they actually brought back some people who did the voices to some of the characters to live action. So, but that's cool. I like it. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I also think like I lowered my expectations. Like I feel like I've said this in the podcast, but previously, like I'm tempering my expectations with some of these shows. And I think in one of the episodes, I was like, I hope Ahsoka is good, and it doesn't let me down. So far, it's been pretty good. Even like before this 4th episode, I thought episodes 1, 2, and 3 were good. I wish 3 was a little longer. It's the shorter one out of the 4 so far.
Especially how the narrative was going. I felt like I was like, that's it? No.
Yeah. But so far, we have several characters that have been introduced, right? So, obviously, Ahsoka Tano, Sabine Wren, Harrison Dula. Those are
Rebels.
rebel characters.
Mm-hmm.
But with this show, we have some people that have come back,
Mm-hmm.
but we have new characters. So Baylan Skoll is a new character. Shin Hati is a new character. Morgan Elsbeth, she is a new character, but from Mando.
Yeah.
And then we have several other characters that are from Clone Wars and Rebels. So the droid, Hu Yang, he was in Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Governor Ryder, who was in Rebels. What I think was pretty cool is that I don't know if this was forethought or foresight or it just happened to work that way, that the person who voices this character looks like the character model kind of from Rebels, so he was able to reprise his role or into live action,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I think that was cool. So those are the characters. I wouldn't say main characters, but because the governor's not a main character, but the first couple that I mentioned have definitely been
Yeah, they're
would
part
say
of Rebels.
part of
you know.
Rebels or Clone Wars and the
And
main
the-
characters in the show
Yeah,
now.
especially Baylan and Shin.
Mhm.
They're the new, I guess, villains for this main antagonist for this series so far.
So far. Yeah.
We don't know yet. Did you know that Hu Yang is voiced by David Tennant, who
The Doctor
is
Who?
the 10th Doctor from
Mhm.
Doctor Who?
Mm-hmm. I thought that was interesting. I would have never been able to tell.
I didn't either until I saw the name. It was like, oh, by David.
Did he voice the character in
I don't-
Clone Wars too?
I don't think so.
Probably,
Maybe.
I would imagine so.
Because I always hear that, that Scottish accent. Because he plays Scrooge McDuck
What? Where?
in DuckTales. In the newest version of DuckTales, he plays Scrooge McDuck.
For
David
real?
Tennant, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a good show. You should watch that one.
DuckTales?
Yeah, the new one, yeah. There's a lot of lore.
What lore?
It's a story, bro.
don't-
That's a better narrative than Star Wars Rebels, bro.
outta here.
I'll fight for this hill. This is the hill I'll die on. DuckTales, bro.
That's a big claim. Well, I'll watch it. And
DuckTales.
we'll
We'll
do a
watch it,
separate
and then you'll be like-
podcast on like
You'll be like,
DuckTales.
okay, he was right. DuckTales is pretty good, guys. You guys gotta go watch DuckTales. It just ended its season. Well, during COVID, it ended its last season.
Oh, so this is a while. So this is kind of old.
This is recent. It's
I
new.
know which one you're talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
With Louis Dewey.
Maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah. No, you should
I'll
watch
probably
it,
check
definitely.
it out with Ben.
Yeah, he'll like it.
He's a little jerk sometimes, but we'll see.
But yeah.
What do you think of? I know this is a dumb question
Mhm.
because she was already in Mando and in Boba Fett. But what do you think of Rosario Dawson's version of Ahsoka?
My only issue is that we haven't seen a clear time skip for Ahsoka. We've only seen glimpse, and it's nothing to do with Rosario. I feel like Rosario is doing a really good portrayal of Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we last meet Ahsoka, she's she's the teen. She just got exiled, and then she comes back in the new season for Clone Wars, and then
and then from season 7.
yeah, and then she comes back. But we see her we don't talk about her.
We don't know what happens.
Well, we
her
do
from
know a
the
little bit,
beginning
yeah.
of the Empire until the fall of the Empire.
So that's what I.
in that 30-year
Yeah.
gap. It's 30 years, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. We don't know what she's done. Okay, I
Yeah.
get
So
that.
that's my only thing
We
because
don't know where she's been, what she's
or
been
how
doing.
she matures or why she matures.
Mhm.
Because we do know, we get sort of context from Rebels, other sources
Mhm.
that she's been basically, cleaning up
Mhm.
any Sith that remains.
Mhm.
But what led to it, we kind of see a brief moment she doesn't want the same thing that happened to her master to happen
Mhm.
to other ones. But that's more of a character progression. We
Mhm.
kind of just time skipped over it,
Yeah.
and then we're Ahsoka's now a wise and stuff.
I want to make a correction.
Uh-huh.
I said that we don't know what happened with her between the start of the Empire and the end of the Empire. I was wrong. That's where Rebels falls in.
Yeah.
So we know what she does in Rebels. We don't know what she's been doing since after Rebels.
After the Rebels,
Because
are
at the end of Rebels, there is a time skip
yeah.
between two scenes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
where Ezra disappears and then they time
with the
jump
space
to like
whales.
to the end of the
Yeah.
war and all that stuff.
So stuff like that.
So we don't know what happens with her there.
Exactly. I mean, but that's
Which is a couple of years
hmm
when you think about it.
But also even in between when when she escapes with Captain Rex, I
Mhm.
guess that's what I would like to see at some point, like a flashback, and that's what I would love to see, the live action Captain Rex of them meeting up once. Because if I recall, they meet up and they're in the slums, and then they go their separate ways at the end of Clone Wars. They'll be like, "Oh, we can't see each other," and then they reunite in Rebels.
Mhm. And
But
in Rebels, Captain Rex is old.
yeah, because he ages fast because of the clone acceleration.
Mhm, mhm.
So, I mean, that's just a whole flashback of them like working together or like
Yeah.
escaping to the slums when when Order 66 happens or something like that. But I mean, her overall character, I think it's really good, especially we're starting to see more of a, and something I noticed too is a more of a, she's wiser now. She's like a more like
Matured.
mentorish. Yeah.
She's matured.
More mature Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
And we still saw that in Rebels
Yeah.
and in Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I want to see how. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, like in that. What is
those
it, maybe
10 years, something like
10
that.
or
Like
whatever.
what? Did she meditate? Did she like see something?
What she do? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, or like did she uncover some
How does
sort
she
of
know
truth?
Luke?
Yeah,
Because we see that in
and with the
Boba Fett.
Mandalorian, Boba Fett.
Yeah, like how does she like? I thought that was cool. Like she
I thought that
meets
was
her
cool.
master's son, but
And then
I
how
want-
does they? I would like
it
to see
raises
their
more
dynamics.
questions for me. Yeah.
How would, and then I'll say something. I'll say when we get to the episode. I want to see what you would think about it. But episode 1, we see the introduction of Ahsoka.
Well, hold on. Before we get into the episode,
Mm-hmm.
I want to go through each character and get your thoughts on each character. Sabine Wren, who is portrayed by
yeah.
Natasha Liu.
I ain't gonna lie.
Orbizo? I don't want to butcher
The
her
one thing
name.
I didn't like about her, she should have kept the long hair, bro. I didn't think they did the short hair justice.
Yeah, but Sabine always had short hair in Rebels.
Yeah, but they didn't cut it right. I don't think the person cut the hair right. You know what I mean? Like it was very bowl cut-ish. Like
So
they put a
dumb.
bowl on her and they just cut around it. I'm not gonna.
Nah, it doesn't look like that. Get out
It
of here.
just slightly look like that. But anyway, I actually did like Sabine. Like
a
Rebel
character?
as a character,
Mhm.
I thought she was a cool version of a Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
Like where she's like, man, I'm not gonna do tradition, screw tradition. I'm gonna just do what I want to do.
Mhm.
Do my, and especially because she does art. I like that. I always like that.
And Sabine knows, what is her name?
I know who you're talking about. The lady,
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan, yeah, I know. Because she
Bo-Katan
loses
was
her.
in Rebels.
Yeah,
and she
loses
gives her the
dark saber. That's how she gets it. So,
Mm-hmm.
you
But
know.
then from there she loses it to.
Damn, Bo-Katan
Midian.
can't keep it, bro.
And
She has
well, gone now.
Butterfingers. She can't slip on, bro.
It's gone now.
Yeah.
But so I wonder if Bo-Katan is gonna show up in Ahsoka. It would make sense, kind of, because
Mhm.
she was in Rebels.
Mm-hmm. Maybe she owes her a favor. Because
I would say so because she
'Cause that's
gave
what
her
I'm
the
thinking
dark
about.
saber.
yeah, and then especially how we'll talk about it a bit more because I don't want to spoil the future episodes or like
Mhm.
the because we haven't talked about them yet, episodes 3 and 4 where they're like
Mhm.
what they go to, but I can definitely see them or Sabine saying like, oh, we need a cavalry. I know somebody.
Yeah.
I could
I
definitely.
mean, I don't think they need it,
maybe, but I mean,
but actually, now that I think of it, I would prefer that they don't. At least not in this season. Maybe in season 2, if there is
Mhm.
a season 2 of Ahsoka, if there's a need,
mm-hmm.
story wise.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I think she's been doing a great job. I like
Yeah.
her character.
I really like the introduction of her Jedi practicing.
Yeah,
The concept of it, of how
how she was Ahsoka's Padawan. And
Padawan, but also how, I mean, she did learn a bit in Rebels of how to use a lightsaber through
Kanan.
Kanan.
Mhm.
When she first gets it, he's like, oh, it's heavier than other blades, and then they start
Mhm,
training.
mhm,
I did
mhm.
like that, and they did bring that back.
You know, it's
Obviously.
interesting. She was able to wield that better than Mando.
That's crazy, bro. That's true.
Mando, Din
But
Djarin
she
had
did-
a hard time.
Yeah, but she got training though. She had some sort of training,
True.
and he's just been like gun.
Din did kind of for a little bit.
Yeah, but
They showed it in Boba Fett.
Boba Fett, but that's with the armor, and I don't think that's a teacher, bro. I think she's just gonna beat you. Do it again.
All right, so let's go to the next character, Hera Syndulla. All I'm gonna say is,
I feel bad for him. He went blind, bro. He can't see. He can't see.
Let's keep it PG. Let's keep it PG.
I didn't say anything. I just said he can't see. That's his. I mean, they're just saying he can't see.
But what do you
see,
think
bro.
she's doing? How do you think Mary Elizabeth Winston is doing?
I think she's doing a good job. I mean, like I said, with Rebels, I wasn't really too into characters that much. I think I was only into Sabine, and then like towards the end, the Grand Inquisitor when he's revealed to be a Jedi or once a Jedi. But even still, this version of Hera is it works well.
But it's different.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's
they're
what
all different. Different versions.
Because I mean, there's also like a
works.
time, like there. So obviously, there's change, and I think it does a well job to showcase like her. She's what, fleet commander?
She's a general now.
General. That's what she is. Her position of like authority.
Yeah.
Even though it's
and she's
like,
a pretty bomb pilot from
Rebels. Yeah.
Show, yeah.
So
it's interesting
cool.
seeing the ship, the Ghost.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
The Ghost and the
you know, what was
Phantom.
really cool. Chopper. I like
Chopper.
He has a taser on him. He's
Chopper's
strapped.
one of my favorite droids.
Yeah.
So it's nice seeing him in live action.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Come on, Hot Toys. Come on, Hot Toys.
Just like a small collection of droids.
Look, I always somehow sprinkle in figure collecting, and I know I just told you before starting the podcast that I actually canceled. All of my pre-orders. For next year. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to get those figures.
It's just a matter of when.
It's a matter of when.
Yeah.
I do think that I might collect, if Hot Toys does it, I might collect this entire Ahsoka line. Because every character in the show, I am enjoying.
You know what also I really liked is the makeup of every character, the way everybody looks.
Yeah.
It's not like...
I mean, maybe I might not get a Hera figure. But if she comes with Chopper, then I might have to get it.
I just want the Chopper.
Yeah. But Mary Elizabeth is doing great. Let's talk about though Baylan Skoll, portrayed by Ray Stevenson, who unfortunately passed away.
I'm not gonna
bad
lie.
Man, dude.
He's when they first arrived, he was just like,
"You guys Jedi?" Was on the ship. He had his hallway scene. I think that's gonna be a thing now.
Yeah.
Like first it was with Vader and Rogue, and then
Rogue One.
Then it was Luke and Mando, and now
that was wild, bro.
He has his hallway scene.
That was wild,
which I think is pretty cool.
It's a good way to show like
he looked great. He looks great in this show, though, man.
That
the beard, the
hair, the outfit,
it's different.
It's unique.
It's different. It's not Sith. It's not Jedi. It's own
something
thing. Like whatever he considers himself. I think he's
Knights of Ren.
Huh. I had not thought of that.
And I'll explain it as we go through the episodes why I think that.
But Knights of... Okay, we can talk about it in a little bit. But
his outfit is, like I said, and also his color of saber. It's not like a red.
It's orange. It's like
orange.
red-orange.
Yeah, so I was wondering if that was...
Which is throwing me the F off.
But here's my thing.
Because I hate the color orange.
You don't like oranges?
I like the fruit.
Okay.
I don't necessarily like the color.
No, but like I wonder if that's like is there a reason for that? Or if it's like if it's just a color choice type of thing.
You know, at first I was like maybe it's because he's like in between and he's closer to Sith than Jedi. But then
because we know lightsaber colors are important.
Yeah.
And you know,
what two colors make orange? Come on,
green and yellow.
Designer.
Green and yellow.
Okay. So I know that blue and red make purple.
Yeah.
And
that's why
Mace Windu has a purple lightsaber because he taps into the dark side.
Nuh-uh.
What do you mean nuh-uh?
It's because Samuel Jackson wanted it. He said, I'm not doing this show.
Yes, but I'm talking about like lore-wise.
Lore-wise, yes. Because the fighting style he uses
he taps into the dark side.
Yeah. It's a more aggressive style.
So that means that his lightsaber would have been blue.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what colors make orange again?
Yellow and green.
Okay.
Green is for meditation. He has a strong force. So and then yellow is someone who Unbound Jedi, I think it is, or something, or a Jedi Knight.
So I'm making connections where there are no connections to be made, but
Yellow does have a color. I don't remember what it is.
the temple guards use
Yeah.
yellow.
So temple and
So,
green.
I don't think he would have been a temple guard because they've already done that with the Grand Inquisitor.
I can see it. I like the temple guards.
I want to know more about his character.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to jump too far ahead, but his duel with Ahsoka, like he's definitely overpowering her.
Yeah, he's meow.
Like physically
That
with
too.
the saber, not just with the Force, but
Yeah.
I think he's been doing such a badass
Yeah,
job. I'm like, I am sad that we will not be able to see more of him.
Yeah.
And maybe people aren't doing this anymore. They're not really recasting anymore. So maybe they may recast. I don't think so because since he passed away, they might want to respect that.
Of course.
But it's disappointing that we won't see more of this character.
Yeah.
I mean, what they could probably do is do like not a prequel of his story, like
Or have
a younger
Shin.
version of him. So he'll be recast in that way.
As a younger actor.
As a younger actor. I would be interested in seeing that, like how he got to where he is now.
Yeah.
But then I want to see more. I'm excited for the next couple of episodes to see what he's gonna do and what's his story, if they will tap into it a little bit. Now I'm assuming Padawan.
I think it is his apprentice. I think they have.
Or apprentice, because it might not be Padawan.
Yeah.
Refer to her as apprentice. Shin Hati. People are going insane over this girl. I only remember her from Pacific Rim.
Oh, yeah.
The second one. I remember her from that movie. I don't remember her from anything else. I'm pretty sure she has been in other stuff.
I've forgotten. I don't know.
She's portrayed by Ivana. Don't even want to try to pronounce the last name.
Sakano?
Sakno?
Sax.
But I would love to see more of her. Because she's actually doing really great with her character. She doesn't have that many lines. Her duel with Sabine, not the first one, but the second one.
Yeah.
Was really good. And when she hit her with the, "You're going to regret this decision," I said, "Ooh, tell her." People are in love with this chick, though.
Yeah.
But I think she's been doing a good job, and I want to see more of this character.
And also, like her little group of soldiers. They're not. I don't know what to call them. Her goons.
We'll talk more about that.
Yeah, I noticed something
that
really
was very. In the last episode, that was
Yeah.
very rebels-ish.
Yeah.
With Darth Maul, and his kind, and the witches of
Savage.
Dathomir. And, and I want to get into that later. Morgan Elsbeth, she was in Mando season 2, in the same episode where they introduced Ahsoka live action. Turns out she is a descendant of the witches of Dathomir, which I was not expecting.
I was not expecting that at all.
I was not expecting that, but I'm glad they are incorporating it.
The witches, and then that made me think of
Like, I don't really F with witchcraft, but in terms of like Star Wars lore, it was in Jedi Fallen Order.
That's what I was about to say.
Like,
because you know the actor for Cal Kestis is Cal Kestis. I mean, he looks just like him. Yeah. He
might. What if he shows up in this one?
That's what I'm saying.
Because a lot of people were like, "Oh, he's going to show up in Mando season 3."
No, I can see, especially.
But I can see him showing up in this one.
I haven't played Survivor, so because the game is.
I don't even have an Xbox anymore. I gave it to my brother. I gave it to Angelo.
So I don't know how, because I know Cal has like a sort of relationship with the other chick, Morgan, who was also a witch in Fallen Order. They have like a romance.
Morgan is not in Fallen Order.
The witch? I don't remember her name.
No, that's a different one. That's a different character.
But there's
but she is a witch of Dathomir.
I can't remember her name though.
I'll look it up right now real quick.
Yeah. But they have sort of a romance, and I've seen clips of them like together in Survivor. That they have dialogue about like, "Oh, where have you been this whole time?" Like they have feelings. So I wonder if those two would come in because it's a witch thing.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Her name is.
It's Cowcaster. But yeah, that was very interesting to see that.
And I see here it says Night Sister Marin. Jedi Survivor.
Her name.
Night Sister Marin. That's her name.
Yeah, Night Sister Mara. That's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking of. Yep.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to cut out that little piece of the gap.
The
That's
gap.
part 2.
No, but yeah. So I was, I'm always curious to see these other, like the witches they weren't really touched upon, I think, in any other Star Wars thing. I think there's like one episode in Clone Wars.
No, in Rebels.
Oh, yeah. Rebels is, like I said.
That's what I'm saying. You got to watch Rebels because there's a lot in Rebels. There's like this whole arc in Rebels with them and Darth Maul and all this other stuff.
Because they get their power from there.
Yeah, because they don't use the Force.
No, they use magic.
witchcraft. They use magic. But I want to see more of her.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about
Doctor Who.
The droid.
Doctor Who.
He's an ass. He's hilarious. I like him a lot, but he's an ass. He's just so blunt.
Yeah. I mean, he's a robot.
I mean? Yeah. I mean, but so was R2D2 and
Yeah.
C3PO, but they weren't,
It's the
K2SO.
personality chip, you know what I mean? The
Oh,
personality
man.
chip, bro.
He's mad old though.
Yeah.
He's like 1,000 years old.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm doing well. I'm 70% original parts.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. I was like,
funny.
dang. Or like when he tells Sabine, out of all the students I've had, you're the worst.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's
damn, bro. He's had a lot of students.
But I like his character.
I think it's a cool concept of like him.
I'm glad they brought him to live action too.
Yeah, of him being alive. Just one thing, like
he's seen all of it. He's
seen the rise and fall.
He's old. He outlived Yoda.
Yeah,
Yoda was old as dirt.
Yeah,
Yoda was probably the oldest member on the Jedi Council.
Yeah,
or in the Jedi Order. Period.
Yeah.
But I like the droid. I think he's funny. He's
even the way he
trains.
You
said David Tennant.
David Tennant, the 10th Doctor in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And Scrooge McDuck.
I would get him as a figure. Like I'm going down this list, and I think we're gonna skip the Governor. I don't think we're gonna. Because he was only in a couple episodes.
No one cares.
But I think out of everyone on here, I want to get Ahsoka. I originally wanted to get Ahsoka from Mando. And we're gonna get back to the show, but I want to talk figures for a little bit. It's like 5 minutes.
Chopper figure.
But the reason why I didn't get it is because people were reporting that her arm was breaking off. And that was gonna blow me. I was gonna get really irritated if that kept happening. So I paused. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
She's a DX figure, which is like one of those figures that comes in fancier packaging and all that stuff. So I'm glad I held off.
Yeah.
Because I'm hoping her look in the show so far is almost damn near the exact same look from Mando.
Unless she gets a wardrobe change.
So I'm hoping she might get a wardrobe change, which is potentially possible based off how this last episode ended and seeing how episode 5 might go. She could get a wardrobe change. So I want to get Ahsoka. I want to get Sabine Wren, which Hot Toys did tease.
With long hair.
You know what I hope Hot Toys does though? They're not gonna do it. But she so far on the show has had 2 different looks.
Yeah.
I would like Hot Toys to put 2 head sculpts or swappable hair. One head sculpt and like magnetic swappable hair.
Yeah.
Short one long hair, one short hair. And then one outfit, but at least provide the jacket from when she was on the speeder.
Yeah, I was going to say, that jacket look nice.
I think that would be really good if Hot Toys did that. Yeah. But I doubt they'll do that. But I do want Sabine Wren. And if I get Sabine Wren, then that means I have to go back and get Bo-Katan. I might skip Hera. But if she comes with Chopper,
that's what I say.
I might get Chopper.
With a fully functioning Chopper, you put a little battery in it and it goes, me, man.
I really hope they make a Balin Skull figure. Yeah. They might not because he passed away. And if they don't make a Balin Skull figure, it wouldn't make sense to make a Shin Hati figure without her master.
That's true.
So I'm hoping that they make Balin, one, because his outfit, he's toyetic, or he looks pretty cool. But I also want Shin Hati, and I'm in the display. I, straight up, unless they do something else in the next 3 episodes, because there's only 3 episodes left. I am gonna like right now. I have like a museum pose for most of my figures, but I think I would like to do a fighting scene between like Shin
And Ahsoka
No, Shin and Sabine, and then Ahsoka and Balin.
in the backs. Masters and apprentice fighting. Fight.
How are we on time?
Yes.
38 minutes. Jesus. And we still haven't gotten to the episode yet.
Speed run. Boom.
All right. Boom.
Episode 1.
So those are the characters. That's what those are initial thoughts on the show so far and the characters so far. But let's go episode by episode. So episode 1, part 1, Master and Apprentice. What did you think?
I think it was a good introduction. Nice introductions to everybody. I mean, what can you expect from an intro?
I feel like they brought everyone
They
up to
brought
speed.
it back. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think it's a powerful moment to start with the mural from Star Wars Rebels, because that kind of connects both of them. Be like, okay, this is sort of, same thing. And then we're introduced to Sabine. I thought that scene was cool. Speeder, I don't care about no war. I'm gonna do my own thing. Cool. And then we have not even that, but before that, the opening scene with Bailiff.
Oh, on the ship?
Yeah,
just
straight up
got his hallway scene with like we
destroyed
mentioned
everybody.
earlier.
Yeah.
But
Massacre.
you realize that he wasn't trying to be an ass.
No, he
He
was
was the captain of the ship that provoked him because he
Yeah.
was being smart, and he said some smart stuff out his mouth.
And then he found
so
out
he kind of got
he
what
messed
was
up.
looking for. He messed up.
and
So
he found
I mean,
out.
obviously, as the captain of the ship, he's not just gonna let somebody walk on the ship.
Yeah,
and
but
just
I mean,
take someone
still.
they're gonna have to resist.
I mean,
but
in that situation, if someone sends me a Jedi code and they got the robes, I'm not gonna say anything.
yeah, I'm gonna be like, yo, if
He's
you're
got the
a Jedi,
robe.
just let me see the lightsaber.
He's
Let
got
me
the
see you
Jedi.
use the Force real quick.
Hey, can you move that box right there? We can't lift
You
it.
good?
Boom.
Go.
They do
I
that.
ain't messing
Yo,
with
take the
you.
prison. I
Yeah.
don't care, bro. I'm.
Exactly.
We've been through 3 wars, bro.
Yeah. What do you
This
think
nigga
of the length of the episode?
I thought it was good. It
officially
was like
57 minutes,
yeah.
but
I thought it was good.
when you deduct the end credits and you deduct the beginning, it's about 51 minutes long.
I think
I thought it was a good length for the first episode.
Because it wasn't like fast. It wasn't like
Yeah, I think it was like decently paced.
decent. Each segment, I guess, with the introduction of Balin, and then the introduction to Ahsoka, and then the introduction to
I thought that
Sabine.
was badass how they did the introduction to Ahsoka.
Yo,
That move that she did with her like sabers, and she like used the Force to like shove
Yeah.
them into the ground
Yeah.
and spin and then go down. That
I
was
like,
pretty
yo.
dope. That's something I'm pretty sure she did in Clone Wars at
Yeah.
some point.
So stuff like that, I think
yeah.
it was a good introduction for everybody, each character, and then to the audience, be like, okay, this is what Ahsoka's doing, this is what Balin's doing, and this is what Sabine is doing.
Yeah. This show is a good example of why Dave Filoni, who directed this episode and has written all of the episodes, should just do Star Wars. Like, he should just get Kathleen, whatever her name is, Kennedy out, put him in charge of Lucasfilm, and oversee everything Star Wars.
My name is Chef. He did that movie.
Because so far, everything that he's put his hands on, Star
been
Wars
really
wise, has been really good. Minus Mando season 3. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It wasn't as good as season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But back to the
But back to episode 1, the way it ends with it, Ahsoka just finding a space map, whatever it's called, I can't remember.
A star map.
A star map, that's what it is. And then it's a key to find Ezra
And
Thrawn. So that's why, everybody's after.
And the interesting thing about this star map is that it's not made by the Sith or the Jedi, but by the witches of Dathomir, whatever it's called. Which at the time we don't know.
Yeah.
Right. But instead of doing our usual going step by step of what happened in the episode, we'll just like do a snippet and like
it's the main focus of it.
the
But
main focus. Ahsoka goes back to Hera. Tells us that she finds a map to find Thrawn, which subsequently helps them find Ezra. So Hera suggests that she meets up with Sabine, that Sabine can possibly help her unlock it. They go. We see Sabine on, what's the name of the damn planet? Lothal or something like that. I can't remember. I didn't even take notes of the name of the planet, but Lothal. Um, we see Sabine there. She has long hair, colorful long hair,
Mm-hmm.
cool leather jacket. She's on her
Yeah.
speeder. They're doing a celebration, yada, yada, yada.
For the heroes.
For the heroes
Yeah.
of the Battle of Lothal,
Mm.
which clearly was one of them.
Yeah.
But she doesn't show up.
Dips.
We see,
Yeah.
we see Ahsoka arrive on the planet.
Yeah.
She sees her. They meet up. There is some tense history
Mhm.
between the two that we don't know about. That we later find out that she was her Padawan and she was teaching her, but then Ahsoka walked away from her as her teacher,
Yeah.
basically left her hanging. Why?
Just like our master.
We don't really know. We know, but we don't know.
It's
'Cause
like
they don't like explicitly say what.
what
happened.
happens.
But I think that's interesting character development between the two.
Yes, because it also plays on how Sabine's emotions are. Because during the first 2 episodes, we see her reminiscing of Ezra, of her still missing Ezra.
Right.
She's still playing that holotape. Is like where he says we're like a ragtag family, and you're like my sister, and just those words that are echoing in her mouth, in her mind, and to the point that she still has one of Ezra's lightsabers, which she uses.
Well, that is his only lightsaber because the first one he made in Rebels was destroyed.
Yeah, it was
if
a
you
gun.
Had watched it, you would have
known
known
a gun.
That. It was a blaster.
A gun.
I was kind of disappointed when he made this new one, but Sabine has made modifications to it, which now in turn makes it her lightsaber because she's modified it, according to Yu Yang.
Yeah.
Then we fast forward to.
I did like that brief thing where they find out about the attack, about what's his name,
Balin,
and so they have him
attack.
Scanned. Have Hu Yang scanned. He's like,
yeah.
Scan, take the picture and scan everyone.
Scan the
And he's like,
lightsabers
and he's like trying to figure out like the parts of it. I thought that was really cool.
I like how he has a record of every lightsaber ever created in the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
Which comes into play later because Sabine and Ahsoka are on Ahsoka's ship and they're talking and they're kind of catching up, and basically Ahsoka's like, I need your help to unlock this freaking star map, right? Yu Yang then comes in. He's like, I have some info for you. Takes her into a room. This is where he talks about the lightsabers.
Yeah.
Right? So he has both lightsabers. He's like, this lightsaber, I don't know nothing about. This one, though, I've only seen one student make a lightsaber like this. His name was Balin Skull. But I don't remember if they say anything else about him.
I don't think they go into
They don't
it.
go into
They just like,
detail.
that's it, and I don't have any records of him.
And so Ahsoka goes back.
Yeah.
Guess who's not there?
Sabine.
Sabine's gone. She takes the star map.
Yep.
After Ahsoka tells her not to, that it needs to stay on the ship.
Don't take it.
So Sabine takes it back to the
her little watchtower
watchtower thing, and one thing leads to another. She figures out how to unlock it.
Yeah.
Conveniently, she
Was it the
unlocks
Force?
it.
I don't know. Maybe.
But guess what?
The droids.
There are some droids there.
Same droids from
sent,
episode 1.
Yep, that were sent. This is still episode 1.
Oh
by
yeah.
the way. They were sent by Balin on orders from Morgan Elsbeth to send the droids to Lothal
to collect the star map.
Well, to keep an eye on Sabine Wren because Balin knows that Sabine Wren was with Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Or was a contact of Ahsoka. So the droids are there. They attack her, Sabine. She's whooping one of the droids.
Yeah.
There's only at this point only one, and she's like fighting the droid like if the droid is a person, elbowing the droid in the face. And I'm like, okay, cool, I guess. This is where you let go of logic.
Real life.
Then another droid comes, gets her from behind, restrains her. The other droid takes the map. She chases them down.
She gets shot.
She doesn't get hit though.
She does. She gets a wound.
From the blaster?
Yeah.
No, she doesn't.
She wakes up in the they continue in the hospital, and it's just like, yeah, they got me.
No, she got stabbed with the lightsaber.
Oh, that's what it was. Same thing, bro. It was a cauterized wound.
So Well, you skipped the whole part where she's
It's
like,
okay, bro.
you know, so Sabine sends a message to Hugh
Ahsoka.
Yang,
Oh yeah.
and she's like, I need help, I need
Mm-hmm,
backup.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Why
Oh, yeah, and they're
Ahsoka
like
wasn't
10.
over there already?
They're like, we'll be there in 10 minutes.
Right?
No, I need to now.
They fly over there, and from receiving the message to flying to the lookout thing, the
I won't lie
lookout
to you. I
tower.
thought they would have been there faster. It's
You're on a freaking ship,
yeah.
whatever. But they're flying there,
Yeah.
and Sabine is now engaged in a lightsaber battle with Shin Hati.
Yeah.
But like Shin Hati is toying with her,
Yeah. She's
playing
like,
with her because Sabine, actually, as far as we know, is not force sensitive.
Yeah.
So they're fighting, they're dueling. The robot, the droid notifies Shin that there's someone on the way. Shin's like, okay, we ain't playing no more. Stabs her.
Yeah.
Right through the side. Not in the middle, but through the side. Yeah. This is why she survived, apparently. Because a lot of people are like, how many times can people get impaled by a lightsaber and not die? And they cracking on my man, Qui-Gon Jinn. He gets stabbed, but he dies, but no one else. Listen, it went through his spine, okay? It went through his stomach, out the back, which means it got his spine. That doesn't necessarily mean that he will die automatically off of that, but he did. We can't do nothing about that. But Sabine survives. We cut to Ahsoka, who sees them. She's like, there they are. She goes down. Boom. Episode ends there. Next episode.
Yeah.
Titled Part 2, Toil and Trouble.
Yeah.
Runtime 44 minutes by actual time of 40 minutes. Directed by Seth Green. Still written by Dave Filoni. What happens in this episode?
This is the one where we see more of like their relationship. We start seeing their relationship, like of like that tension between like Padawan, ex master and ex Padawan, I guess. She's like, "Why would you take the map? Why did you do that? Why'd you do all this?" And then they're like, "Well, you kind of left me there." It's a whole back and forth between them, but also they realize that. Well, Sabine realizes that she figured out the map, and that they need to that it's stolen. They need to go get it back. But they also share their information with Hera and Lady Elizabeth to find out, because now everybody's worried, because that's not only a map to find Ezra, but also to find Admiral Thrawn. So they're like, everybody's scrambled. But we do see them travel to the shipyard, to the Corellian. Corellia, and they see that massive hyperdrive's being built.
Well, why do they go to Corellia?
Well, because they're looking for the map.
Right, but they realized that we skipped an important detail.
Yeah.
Ahsoka and Sabine are talking.
Yeah.
And Sabine tells her that she gets attacked by a droid.
Yeah.
Ahsoka asks, how many droids? Sabine says 2, which then lets Ahsoka know the second droid is probably still there. So what does she do? She goes to the hideout or the watchtower or whatever it's called. Guess what? Droid is there. She destroys the droid. She brings back the droid's head. Sabine is like, oh, okay. I can see where this droid came from in a couple of seconds. Blah, blah, blah. That's how they find out that it came from Corellia. And then that's where Ahsoka makes the connection that Morgan Elsworth or Elsbeth had business on Corellia during the Empire's rule.
Yeah.
So then that is what triggers her and Hera to go to Corellia to check it out.
Yeah.
We're skipping through a lot, but
yeah, I mean, we have like 2 more episodes to go, so just trying to speed run. But we also see, I think this is the first time we see the unknown masked.
The what?
The masked guy or the masked person that's with.
I forgot to add him as a character. His name is Morak, I think, or Morak or something like that.
But
he has like the Inquisitor type lightsaber.
But his armor is the same, similar to their style. It's not the Inquisitor style. It's not that Empire sleek black. It's more of a rugged knight look. Even his helmet.
I think it's a cool look though.
I enjoyed it a lot, and that's why I said it Knights of Ren, which also led me to see. And I don't know if you want to dig too deep into this, but You know, in the introduction credits, they show everybody in, you know, their respective colors, blue and red, right?
Mm-hmm.
They show him in blue.
His helmet?
Yeah.
I did not pay attention to that.
That's why I was just like, huh, what does that mean?
That might just be. I mean,
That's
we see what happens to him.
That's what I'm saying. It could just be like, because they show, you know, Ahsoka in blue and everybody else is in blue, but yeah, and that was actually in the newest episode. Actually, I noticed that.
Not to jump ahead, but he dies in the newest episode.
Yeah, but in the intro credit, he's still like, it's still there. So that's why I was like, huh, that's weird. But who knows? Maybe he's just digging too deep.
I'm trying to find his name.
Guy with cool helmet.
The guy with the Inquisitor's lightsaber.
Yeah, but you know, they fight. You know.
Oh, on Corellia, yeah.
Yeah, and they it was pretty cool.
They find out there are ex-Empire loyalists or sympathizers who are corrupt.
Yeah.
And are still helping Morgan Elsbeth.
Yeah. So we do see that. And then we start seeing the duel. It's a duel or not a duel? I guess they're escaping because they get on the ship. Not Sabine, the dude Morax.
Oh, and
he throws a little lightsaber. That was pretty cool.
I thought it was pretty badass how Ahsoka just dodged it. She said, "Boy,"
and she didn't dodge it. She's like, yeah. And it came back. And she was like, yeah, like that's gonna stop me.
I feel like a lot.
I think it was just progression.
Happened.
I think they were just setting up because they're like, now you know, now we know. Sabine cuts her hair. She dons her old gear.
Her old Mandalorian armor.
That was cool.
At the very end. And this is where they have that shot-for-shot scene.
Yeah.
That they recreate from the end of Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is where the story takes the continuation.
Mm-hmm.
Takes off right after the end of Rebels. Which I like, because I think I sent you something about it, and I was like, I thought this was pretty cool. That's really the gist of episode 2, right? I don't think we're really missing much. There was interaction between Hera and like the New Republic Council or whatever they're called.
And they're kind of like, well, that's not really our
one
problem.
of them kind of just like brushes her off.
Yeah, they're like, we're not gonna send you a whole fleet for that.
Right.
They're just like, well, unless you have proof.
Essentially.
Yeah, they were just like, I don't care.
The ambassadors or whatever they
Yeah.
were. And then there was an interaction between Sabine and Hugh Yang. This is where he's like, in all my years, what you said, in all my years of whatever it was.
The worst one, bruh.
Yeah.
Damn.
But then he's like, do it.
Yeah.
Take up your training again.
Yeah.
Even though I think you're the worst, take up your training again. Yeah. So that's what those are the things that happened in episode 2. Episode 3, while it was a shorter episode, and apparently some people's least favorite so far.
You know what we forgot about episode 2?
What?
When Chopper throws the
tracking device?
The tracking device, and he couldn't find it. I thought that was funny.
That was hilarious.
He was like, I didn't touch your stuff. He's like, he opens the little box.
Did you check under the whatever? And he's like, oh, my bad, basically.
Yeah. I thought that was cool. And, yo, they need to put Chopper in the NBA, bro. That throw? That was crazy.
So dumb. He said in the NBA.
Yeah.
But that's how they get a tracker on the ship that takes off. That's transporting the hyperdrive.
Yeah.
So
they got throws, bro. Put them on the what's it called? National Baseball League.
So episode 3, part 3.
Yeah. Time to fly.
Runtime 36 minutes. Actual runtime about 30 minutes. Directed by Steph Green. Written by Dave Filoni. This episode I thought was interesting because there are things that we saw that we haven't seen in live action. We've seen like animated, like, but you want to walk us through the episode?
I mean, for the episode, it starts with,
Sabine is training with Ahsoka.
Yeah, with Ahsoka, and then,
well, she's training with Hugh Yang
and Ahsoka is just like, huh.
And they're going through the different fighting styles,
I think that's what it is, because the names sound familiar, because it's like show,
Yeah.
And when I thought that was actually really cool how he shows like you're supposed to hit afterwards. You're supposed to hit here.
But you actually hit here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty
I
cool.
thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Especially for training.
Also, like, he has extra arms.
Yeah, he has like 4 other arms.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
He's like a bootleg General Grievous.
He basically told her that she sucked.
Yeah, he was just like, bro,
Get
out.
So much so that Ahsoka was like, "You said that to her?"
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, "Yo, what the heck?" He was
like
"It's the
Ahsoka was
truth,
taken back,
though."
and he was just like, "Yo," this is hot garbage. You just get out of here. But we start seeing that, and then also the fact that she can't use a force. He brings that up. He's like, "You're not force sensitive." Yeah,
Suck.
that's a no for me, man. Get off my ship.
I
I will say one thing about the ship in general. Like,
Ahsoka ship
Ahsoka ship. I don't like the way it looks from the outside.
Yeah, and the inside is pretty.
Inside,
dope,
it looks really nice. I really like how they have a collection of weapons. I guess of the lightsabers, a couple knives.
I did not peep that. I have to go back and watch it.
On the side panel, you'll see them on the side, like right when they're training in the little center of it on the side. There's a whole bunch of like different lightsabers and parts. So that makes me wonder if we'll see different weapons. Like, because
You
Ahsoka
rarely
has,
see a Jedi pick up a different saber.
we see Ahsoka use 2 different sabers, and the Shoto, I think that's how it's called.
Yeah, but she had those from Rebels.
I know, but that's what I mean. Her fighting style isn't conventional. That's what I'm saying.
I would suppose, yeah.
Like maybe Sabine pulls out the gun, pulls out the strap.
Maybe a combo of both.
Combo of both. Her Mandalorian side, she's more used to, a flamethrower and missiles. And
Her armor came in handy this last episode.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. Like, she can make her own fighting style or whatever, especially with all the gear they have. But back to the actual episode.
So I kind of mixed some of the episodes up. I said that Hera met with the council.
Yeah,
that was in episode 3, not episode 2. So
So they meet up, and then the whole thing with this belief of Thrawn's coming back. No way, no way. But
so
I think this episode was much shorter, but it really didn't focus on Ahsoka that much. I mean, Ahsoka and Sabine, it did focus more on the Republic side of it with Hera and
kind of. But
the ambassadors.
I mean, it touched on it a little bit. But what I like is that they finally get a signal from Chopper's tracker.
Yeah.
And Ahsoka and Sabine and Yu Yang to go check it out. They show up on this planet. I don't remember the name of the planet. What's the name of the planet? I don't remember the name of the planet, but they see or they detect some vessels. They can't see it, right? So they are engaged by Shin-Hati and Morak. That's his name.
Yeah.
And a couple of other of their mercenaries or whatever they are.
Yeah.
And they attack Ahsoka's ship.
You know what else I thought it was weird about them? Was that their ships look very run down, very like scrap.
Who's?
Morax and Shinti's.
I'm not surprised.
Like, I don't know.
The Empire's not around at this point.
That's true, but they've always like
officially.
Yeah, but I feel like they would have had. I mean, but that's also a question to were they ever part of the Empire?
They could have been. Who knows? There's still a lot of questions.
Because there's the way their clothes is. They're.
But they're not Empire-y type clothes though.
That's what I'm saying. Like even for an Inquisitor, the Inquisitor still has an Empire like touch to it. The solid black, the logo.
And theirs is not.
Theirs is very rugged, very like medieval knight style.
Yeah, kind of like a medieval knight. Yeah. Because Shin-Hati has a lot of armor on her. Like, I don't know if it's Beskar or what it is, but it looks like Beskar.
Yeah.
Her shins and her shoulders and her forearms.
She
like I think her costume is probably one of the cooler looking ones. So it'll look really cool as a figure. But fast forwarding, they get intercepted by a squadron of fighters led by Shin-Hati and Morak. At this point, Ahsoka's like, get on the guns to Sabine. And she's kind of having trouble blasting them, and then they kind of get into the swing of things, and they start blowing them up. But then they get closer. Yu Yang tells them to get closer to the device that they detect, and this turns out to be a hyperspace
gate
type thing to
the
jump
Eye
from
of
one
Sion.
that has the capability of doing a hyperspace jump from one galaxy to another. They engage Ahsoka ship. They're dodging. They're blasting them. They hit them. Right? They're dead in space. Morgan Els, whatever her last name is, think that she's destroyed them, but they haven't. So Shin Hati is like, congratulations. You ain't get them, but I'm going to finish the job. So then they engage. But they're dead. Ahsoka and her ship are dead in space. So what happens? Ahsoka puts on a spacesuit, walks out. This is what I'm like, I've never seen this in live action.
I thought that was really cool.
I thought that was really cool. She engages the fighters while on the ship, magnetically attached to it with the boots. Obviously, if not, she'll float away. And she destroys one or two ships with her lightsaber because she deflects the fighter blast back at them or whatever.
Blast.
And then while Sabine is trying to fix the ship, mind you, Yuye gets knocked out.
Yeah.
When the ship gets blasted, right? But he gets enough information on this Eye of Sion device.
He was scanning as they were
scanning. He kept saying, "Closer, closer, please." So they get all this information. Sabine fixes the ship miraculously. Ahsoka is floating in space. She's like, "Come get me."
Yeah.
She gets her. They dive down into this planet that's below, and Morak and Shin Hati pursue. While on the planet, or while diving down into the planet, Ahsoka on the sensors detects something.
Yeah.
And Sabine is like, is it other ships? Is it other fighters? And Ahsoka's is like, nah. Turns out to be those big ass space whales that can travel through hyperspace. Those are the exact same ones that we see in the Rebels when
at the end when Thrawn,
Ezra and Thrawn, he uses them and they jump into hyperspace, and that's why they don't know where they're at. And they're fighting, they're flying through, and they're like amazed and blah 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 blah. And then they land the ship. And Shin Hati and Mora kind of basically lose them.
Yeah.
Because the whales get in the way, essentially.
The whales.
Space and whales. That's basically the end of the episode. Am I missing anything?
No, that's it. And then episode 4 continues off with them landing
on the planet.
Yeah. And then going to one thing on episode 3 is that we right when Ahsoka and Hu Yang are piloting the ship before the whole incident happens, we see Sabine trying to use the Force with the cup.
Oh yeah.
We see her and she's like
next time because it doesn't work.
Yeah. So and then it makes me wonder if can anybody use the Force if they try hard enough.
Well, in Star Wars, the Force flows through everyone and everything.
But some people have a higher, what is it called? The
midichlorian level.
Yeah.
That they can manipulate the Force.
Yeah. So I wonder, can that grow? Can you increase your count?
I don't know. That's interesting.
I don't know.
Interesting point.
Because if she's never been Force sensitive, all of a sudden now she's Force sensitive. I guess that's the question. Can you actually train
to become Force sensitive?
Mm-hmm.
It's Star Wars. They can do whatever they want. They can change the canon and say yes.
No.
I wouldn't care if they did. To me, it's cool. But
anybody
there are like purists, quote unquote, who like
little Jimmy
sure
can use the
would not
Force.
be happy about it.
Everybody can use the Force.
But I thought this episode was really interesting.
It was
especially the very end.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to me the very end for 2 reasons. Where she was. Well, 3 reasons. Where she was, how she got there, because we don't know how she got there, and then who she sees at the end. But
yeah, that's episode 4.
But in this episode, what happens? Walk us through it.
Okay, so we see that snap my thing. Well, we see that Morax is there. Morax is there setting up his little, I don't know what you would call it, his ritual.
Who?
Not Morax.
Balin. Oh, we totally skipped that from the previous episode.
Yeah,
there's like this
little two. It's almost
It's
like
like
four
it's like-
monuments.
It's like on a cliff.
Yeah, and then they have like a centerpiece.
Yeah, and it was built by the witches of Dathomir.
And they have the same symbol, so I'm guessing that has to do with something with.
and like the star map can be put there and used, and it's activated, and
Yeah.
it can show them one galaxy and the coordinates to get from one galaxy to
Yeah.
another. So
But
they're
you know,
there.
they're rushing for time. Everybody's, you know, Ahsoka and her team are, you know, trying to stop that from happening.
Mhm.
Because if they get there first, you know, they find the location, blah blah blah. And then Ahsoka heads for their base, but they're stuck by Morak and what is her name again?
Shin Hati,
Shin Hati, and then they, you know,
because people are calling her Shin Hati.
I see
That's
why,
how I
bro.
remember it.
You know, they get into a fight of, you know, Ahsoka fights Morax, and then Sabine fights Shin Hat. And
Shin
then
Hati.
Hati. It was a pretty cool duel. Like
Yeah.
from both sides, from like
Mhm.
the Ahsoka's one and then Sabine's. You know,
Sabine and Shin Hati.
yeah, and then Sabine just, you know, getting,
Yeah.
you know, absolute destroyed to some degree.
You know who got destroyed? Morak.
Yeah, I was about to say end up unfortunately dying. Ahsoka gives him the 0-1-2,
Yeah.
the 0-1-2 combo.
I think my mic just went out.
No, I mean I see a green light from here.
Oh,
La, la,
I can't really hear.
mm.
Hello?
I hear you.
That was weird.
You had a little hiccup.
Technical difficulties.
But yeah, basically Ahsoka kills Morax, and she kind of leaves Sabine to her own. She kind of
Well,
goes,
because Sabine tells her to. go.
yeah. But I mean, still, that's
And
kind of
let's talk about Morak and how he dies, though.
yeah.
So they're fighting,
Mm-hmm.
and he does the little Inquisitor blade spinny
Yeah,
thingy,
yeah.
and he thinks he's
Blade
gonna
blade.
do something with that,
The blade
but
blade.
he doesn't, and Ahsoka gets him right across the stomach, not even the chest, right across the stomach. So she cuts him open, and he kind of like pauses, and then this took me back to Clone Wars and Rebels to some degree
Mm-hmm.
with the Sisters of Dathomir. So do you remember? I think this is from Clone Wars. Maul's brother,
Yeah, Savage.
Savage Opress.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Savage, but
I'm mad you said Savage.
because that's how you pronounce it.
Okay. Okay.
It is Savage
Okay.
Opress.
No. Okay.
I mean, it's spelled Savage,
Savage.
but they call him
21
Savage.
Savage.
Anyway, his
Uh-huh.
brother didn't originally look like that.
No.
The Witches of Dathomir
Yeah.
made him huge, big.
They buffed
and,
him
like,
up. Yeah.
basically force sensitive. I'm thinking that Morgan Elsbeth made Morak.
And you know
when
who's the body?
who?
The blind dude.
What blind dude? Nah, no way.
That's his body.
He got blown up.
They brought him. Remember, because remember the in the Well, I mean, I remember in the game.
You talking about Kanan?
Yeah, Kanan.
Nah, that's not him. There's no way. It wouldn't make any sense.
It would make sense. I could see that. The biggest plot twist, bruh. That's when they bring him back.
Nah, no way that's Kanan.
But then he dies.
That theory is...
Okay, when it happens, I don't want you to be like, oh.
But they just left him there, though.
That's what I'm saying. But like, well, I mean, well, we do know from the sisters that they have a sort of resurrection
Right.
concept.
But the thing just said...
Yeah.
spilled out of him. And then you see him, like, turn into bone and just, like... And then
Yeah.
drop. So...
He's like Ermac from Mortal Kombat, where he's just like a body filled with souls.
That's wild. But Ahsoka whips him, kills him. And this is when Sabine is like, go after Balin.
Yeah.
She's like, I got this.
She didn't have this.
And then you could like, and then Shin Hati, she's mad because like she sees that they killed
Yeah.
Morak. And
That's
then
her mans.
she looks at Sabine and she's like, I said it earlier, you're going to regret this decision.
Yeah.
I hope they don't kill her though. I hope they don't kill her character.
Really?
I hope
I mean-
not. Why not? That's a cool character.
I mean,
why,
they just-
why kill her off so soon?
I mean, maybe
What
not
if they
this
bring her
episode.
over to the light side? Which
I
is
don't
like
know.
cliche.
I don't know about that one. Because where was she? Where was she when they needed more Jedis to appear?
You talking about in the
In
sequel trilogies?
Yeah.
Where was Ahsoka? Apparently she was around.
Ahsoka was doing her thing, bro.
I guess.
She was out there babysitting Grogu. That's what she was doing. She was like, "Oh, I can't go, guys. I gotta babysit this guy."
Anyway. Let's keep talking about the episode. Let's talk about this duel between Balin and Ahsoka.
Yeah.
He touched a sore spot. With her when he mentions Anakin.
Yeah.
And she was like, "When I hear talk about my past, man."
Yeah. You know, it was a good duel. It
was a short duel. It was. Good. I think it was sufficient.
Yeah.
There was one thing that blew me about that duel when she goes to grab the star map.
Mm-hmm.
Why grab it? If you have one hand free, you had your other lightsaber. That to me blew me. I was like, that's stupid. Why she grab it? She could. I mean, I know it's to carry the story along.
Yeah.
You know, but logically, I'm like, okay, you have your one main lightsaber in one hand, and you're gonna go to reach to grab the star map, which burns the mess out of your hand apparently. Or why grab it? Why not use the force to push it?
That's what I was thinking. Or even just to pull it to her. Like,
well, it was hot, so I mean,
but you could still hold it in place. You know what I mean? Like, and then hit him with it.
She could have quickly. Balin threw a little boulder at her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she could have used the force to push it, or she could have used her lightsaber to stab it, which he eventually did at the end of the episode, so they don't follow him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I jumped ahead a little bit. I think that's the only thing of the show so far in the last 4 episodes that I was kind of like, that's stupid, because she could have done many other things. But the duel between them was cool.
Yeah.
Clearly, he was physically overpowering her.
Yeah. He just.
I don't know if he's stronger than her in the Force, but physically, he's definitely
as a duelist.
Stronger than her.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Kind
of put her in her place. He said,
she grabs the star map. Her hand is burnt. She drops it.
Oof.
Here comes Shin Hati. Ahsoka gets angry because she's like, Sabine, she didn't do what, a Jedi would do.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she's no Jedi, but she got angry.
She got very angry.
What did she do to Shin?
What did she do? I don't remember.
She used the Force and pushed her up against that big ass rock wall.
Oh yeah,
and knocked her out because she thinks that
Sabine is
dead. That Shin Hati kills her. But the thing that gets me about it is she got angry.
Mm-hmm.
Jedis don't usually get angry.
But she's not a Jedi though.
I know, but she's still a light side user.
No, she's the white side, so she does whatever she wants.
Did you just say the white side?
Yeah, bro.
She's a gray Jedi.
She's a gray Jedi. That's why she has the lightsaber, the 2 lightsabers. So remember they were white because she cured the red ones from bleeding.
Yeah, from an Inquisitor that she killed.
Yeah.
That doesn't make her a gray Jedi though.
That's what she is though.
I'm just surprised she used her anger.
Yeah.
That one I was not expecting.
You weren't expecting that?
I wasn't expecting that. So then Sabine, she hears Sabine and she's like relieved. And Sabine has the star map in her hand, which coincidentally is cooled down enough for her to grab it.
Yeah.
And she's pointing a blaster at it. I think this also bothered me. Sabine doesn't shoot it. She doesn't destroy it after Ahsoka tells her to do it. But, Balin is like, actually prior to that, he's like, it didn't have to come to this.
Yeah.
Because he has Ahsoka at this point on the edge of the cliff. So what happens? Knocks her ass off the cliff. Sabine thinks she's dead. Damn it, I thought she was dead. But I knew she wasn't dead because it's the Ahsoka show. So there's no way she could be dead.
The show's called Ahsoka.
But what happens with Sabine?
Sabine gives him the orb, no? I can't remember. Yeah.
And that really blew me.
She was like, okay.
Like, are you really that selfish that you're putting the universe, the galaxies
at risk?
The galaxy at risk
for
just
Ezra?
so you can see Ezra?
Yeah, bro.
Or
that's her man's.
Not even. She sees him as a brother.
No, that's her man's, bro.
And I get it, but I'm like, you can't be that selfish.
Yeah, especially the way he was playing it. He was just like if you don't give it to me.
He went right at it. He knew what he was doing, what he was saying. He's not dumb. Like, that should have been a dead giveaway to her there. Yeah. But I get it. It's to carry the story along.
It's also, to her, emotional baggage that she's had.
Yeah.
That we see in the beginning when she's, replaying the holo tape of Ezra.
So she gives him the star map. He grabs it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Shin Hati starts force choking her
Yeah.
because she regains consciousness right on time to see her.
Yeah.
So Balin has to ask her twice to
Yeah.
release her. So there, I see something there. I have a feeling that they're gonna convince Balin to do the right thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like Shin is gonna betray her master, which will further push her into the dark side. I can see that happening.
I see what you mean.
But
I can see that.
she releases him.
Yeah.
They make their way up to the Eye of Sion. And then we see Hera and a couple of people come, which we didn't mention earlier, but she disobeyed orders and brought a small squadron of fighters with her.
As general.
And they see the Eye of Sion and they start to detect an energy surge.
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, what is this? What happens? They jump into hyperspace because they were able to get the coordinates from the star map. And it almost takes them out.
Yeah.
Right? Which we have seen in The Last Jedi, a ship jumping into hyperspace in the direction of another ship coming can be very catastrophic, which I thought was a pretty cool scene in The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
The Last Jedi. So they disappear. They're in hyperspace. For all we know, they're already on in the other galaxy. We forget to mention that they show Hera's son, who is shown at the very end of Rebels.
Yeah.
Because for those who may not know, Kanan and Hera were a thing.
Yeah.
And before he died and got blown to bits,
he was busy.
He got busy and shit.
Got busy,
old
bro.
ass kid. So, he himself is not green like his mother, but his hair is for some reason.
I thought that was funny though.
But it was like that in the animated
Yeah.
show too. But whatever, cool. He might be force sensitive because his father was
Because
force
his
sensitive.
dad.
So that's interesting. That'll be interesting to see what they do with that, if anything.
Yeah.
So
I'm surprised he's not a
this is
Twi'lek.
where. All right. So this might be TMI. I watched this episode while I was chilling in my room. Right, I was on my bed, and
Your Star Wars blankie.
shut up. And they go to a shot, an overhead shot of the cliff, and they're panning to the left, and you see the water waves.
Yeah.
And those waterways, which I thought was a cool transitions into kind of like, have you ever seen bioluminescent days? Kind of looks like that.
Yeah.
And it transitions to Ahsoka's arm. At this point, we see Ahsoka where I assume is the world between worlds, or something like that from Rebels, which we have seen before. We've seen Ezra Miller go in there. We've seen the Emperor reach out to Ezra through there. And they can go through time.
Yeah.
Right? So she's there. She's getting up. She's disoriented. She's coming to. And she hears something. And she hears a voice. And she's like, hold up. That voice just sounds kind of familiar. And then she's in like 2/3 of the frame. So you kind of don't see what's behind her.
Yeah.
But the way they film it is like they kind of zoom into her and like.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So she hears a voice again, and she says, "What did she say?"
Master.
And I'm like, at this point, I'm literally up against the wall on my bed, and my TV is up against the other wall. I legit jumped up and said, like a little ass kid, to the edge of the bed and was like, "No."
Yeah.
And then who shows up on screen?
The only person that matters.
Anakin freaking Skywalker, man. I said, "Ah!" like a little ass kid. I'm not gonna lie. This was like 12:30 at night. I was so excited. I had a hard time sleeping. I couldn't go to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for episode 5.
Yeah.
Like, apparently this is gonna be such a big episode.
It's gonna be theatered.
That they're gonna be screening it in movie theaters.
Yeah.
And apparently there are leaks. I have not seen it. I have not checked it.
I know what you're talking about. I haven't seen anything.
That something is gonna happen, or some people are gonna show up. I don't know what exactly.
The whole
it is.
squad gonna show up.
I don't know what it is, but apparently it's gonna be big. So I'm like super psyched for Tuesday.
Yeah.
9 o'clock. I'm gonna be in the zone, just like I'm gonna tell the boys, go to the room. Don't leave
talk
me
to
alone.
me.
Don't talk to me.
Look at me.
I don't exist. I'm gonna be so mad if this is a 30-minute episode.
Oof.
That's gonna blow me.
I can't see because if it's being it has to be more because if it's being in theaters, no one's gonna go to theaters for 30 minutes.
It has to be an hour.
It has to be
minimum.
an hour,
and I mean like an actual hour of actual
content.
footage.
Yeah, not of like
not intro and end credits. Like it has to be.
Yeah, no, it has to because if it's going in theaters, then are you gonna pay like $10?
But my thing is like I want to know how she got to the world between worlds. How is Anakin there? If that's truly Anakin.
Yeah.
Because when they show him, it fades to black. It ends with the Darth Vader theme, and I'm like, ooh.
But remember, at the end of the original trilogy,
Yeah, he's redeemed.
He's redeemed.
He's
So
redeemed.
that makes me wonder if
And he is not a Force ghost.
no,
Is he blue?
no, he's not blue. No, he's in full costume. Christian Hayden's just like an aged version of Anakin.
No, it's a younger version.
Yeah.
They de-aged them.
Yeah. But this one, but he was still he wasn't blue. He was like normal.
Oh yeah, he's not blue.
So, but that also makes me think about is that will he play a role in being like a ghost mentor?
My thing is,
like what they did with Obi-Wan.
But my thing is it Anakin? Because she is in the world between worlds, and like yes, we've seen them there in the past and Rebels, but it was only like 2 episodes or so we don't really know how it really works.
Yeah,
like we know, yeah, she can go back in time, but Star Wars theory has, you know who Star Wars theory is, right? So he has a theory of what might happen, and what he thinks is that, well, what he was saying was that he feels that the next episode is going to focus on Ahsoka's guilt of not being there for Anakin when he turned to the dark side, because she feels that if she was there, she would be able to prevent it or pull him back. So he's thinking that Anakin is like gonna basically be like, what is that 12 Ghosts of Christmas or the 4 Ghosts of Christmas or whatever, where like I wish I didn't exist and like your life would have been
the Ghost of Christmas Past.
Yeah, there we go. You're gonna pull one of those. Like
money.
What happened had to happen.
Yeah.
Like
if you stopped, it was stopped.
This would have happened, or the Emperor.
I would have been cool.
You know what I mean?
So to see like I don't know, potentially maybe Luke
like a what if type thing.
Yeah, like Luke and Leia. Maybe they were the ones who turned evil.
Right. The Emperor would have probably seduced Luke to the dark side when he was at an older age. Or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested to see this episode. I'm still trying to keep my expectations low.
Yeah.
Even though I'm hyped that we see Anakin again, but I want to keep it low because I don't want to be disappointed. but we'll see how this goes. So far, the first 4 episodes have been solid. They've been really good. I've enjoyed them. I've rewatched it.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't done that for a Disney Plus show since Moon Knight, for real.
Moon Knight's been really good.
I did rewatch some Mando episodes, but I've rewatched all 4 episodes
of Ahsoka. I haven't done that for Obi-Wan.
I did that for Obi-Wan for the fight. But not all the episodes.
Not the whole season. No.
Because some of these shows like to have little filler episodes.
Yeah, I mean,
but this cannot. It's only 8 episodes, so
it shouldn't be
4 filler episodes. I feel like all 8 episodes have to be knockouts.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
but you could say that the same thing about another show, the One Piece live action. It's only 8 episodes, and there's like I think 1 filler.
Why does it always come back to One Piece?
You're gonna watch One Piece. You're gonna watch it.
Why?
It's only 8 episodes, my guy.
You watched the whole thing?
Yeah.
Like it's good as a One Piece fan.
As a One Piece, everybody like has disagreements. I saw with my nephew. He's a much bigger One Piece fan than I am.
The younger one or the older one?
The older one. So for me, I guess my One Piece is I've read the book,
the
manga to a certain point, and then I kind of stopped because I was like, I don't want to wait every other month for a new chapter. I don't care anymore. I let it like go on for a bit, and now I've caught up to where it is. Same thing with my nephew, but started watching the show, and then when he got to the show part, he continued on the manga. He doesn't like it for like there because there's the way they did is that they took, I guess, the beginning part of One Piece, the beginning like saga of it, they just like compressed it, they condensed it to fit 8 episodes, and they do. I think they did it really well. There are obviously some like.
I mean, they have to because there's so many episodes of the show.
There's a lot of
animated show
inconsistencies that they've done, like, or not even that, like out of order sort of things. Like, oh, they should have been after that than this. But I don't mind it. I think it's a good show. It's the cast is amazing.
I'll watch it because I know nothing of One Piece, so
that's what I'm saying.
Go into it like
as a person who has never had any One Piece, I think it's a good show. Like for that, like my nephew didn't like it because he was like, "Oh, that's not lore actor either."
It's like The Last Airbender.
Yeah,
it's
a bit like that.
One entire season into one movie, and
that one backfired. I was about to say that one just completely backfired.
Sucked. Like
this one, they did it.
One of the biggest disappointments ever for me. But anyway, I'll give it a chance. I'll check out One Piece.
And it ends with the best cliffhanger because they show my favorite character, Smoker.
Well, this is season 2, you said, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, it's already written.
It's already written. They're just going through the strike thing to start production. That's why.
That's right.
Because they show like the way it ends. There's a lot of people be like, "Wait, this shouldn't happen. This shouldn't happen."
Scared the mess out of me.
Oof. Oh, that's crazy. I heard it too, and I was just like, but yeah, it's a good show.
Back to Ahsoka.
One Piece. The One Piece is real, my guy.
I don't know if I'm gonna watch it in the living room or if I'm gonna watch it in the
theaters,
in my bedroom. I ain't going to no theaters to watch this.
What if it's like 2 hours?
The boys with me.
Take them to go see Ahsoka. And be like,
I think what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to put them to sleep. And when
then
they knock out, I'm gonna come out to the living room and watch.
And then you're gonna wake them up when you're like, oh, oh
man, I cannot wait.
No, I'm very excited for this. I'm like this is a good show. I think it's one of the better ends of of like anything
Disney
Star
Plus
Wars.
Series,
you know, it's up there.
Disney era, yeah.
Even for the Star Wars ones, like Kenobi was okay. It was. I had high hopes.
Kenobi should have been better. Kenobi should have. It should have stayed a movie like it was originally going to be.
Yeah. Andor, I think it was a nice thing. I think it's just like that should have been.
I keep forgetting about Andor. I like Andor.
Andor was really good. I feel like that should have had more things, like more episodes.
But there's gonna be a season 2. Andor had 12 episodes.
Yeah, I want more though, because it's a very like dialogue movie or like a dialogue show, like very like.
Yeah. Well, because it's not like
it's an espionage,
Jedi,
and I'm fine with that. I like that, but I was like, I want more. I want to see the sneaky stuff. I want to see them, all this stuff.
How involved is Dave Filoni in the Acolytes show? Is he involved at all?
That's a good question. I don't
because that's Sith specific.
Yeah, because I wonder how they're gonna do that.
Yeah,
the guy from Squid Games is gonna be in it.
I don't know anything about Squid Games. I haven't watched it.
You haven't seen Squid Games?
No.
Squid Games.
But we're an hour and 30.
Oh, that's a lot we've done. This is a longer episode, just like the Ahsoka episodes.
It was actually going to be less because I'm editing some stuff out.
Oh, okay.
But we're over an hour.
Yeah.
I think we're going to end it there. Next time, we'll probably talk about episodes 5 and 6.
Uh-huh.
And then after that, there are only going to be 2 episodes left.
7 and 8, yeah.
So, fingers crossed that this next episode 5 is solid and is good.
Yeah.
It's a good, decent length. It cannot be less than an hour.
Mm-hmm. It has to be more.
It has to be more. So I'm hoping that it's longer than an hour.
I do too.
But I think we're going to end it there. Those of you that are still listening, thank you. We appreciate you guys. We have a YouTube channel. Check out the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is
The Midnight Mission Podcast.
Cool. We'll be uploading new videos soon.
We have a couple new videos planned.
We're going to New York Comic Con. We're going to do some stuff there. There are also other cons that are happening before. I have not talked to you about it, but they're in the area, relatively cheap. We check them out, make content from that. But we'll check you guys out in the next podcast, next episode.
See you next episode.